This is an ooh-wee production.
Welcome to the Real Talk Podcast, where the goal is to better our understanding through conversation. Communicating our feelings, our thoughts, or our opinions could be some of the easiest, or it could be some of the hardest things to do. But by communicating, we begin to form new perspectives. So throughout the various topics and opinions we discuss on our podcast, we hope that we can add value, understanding, and maybe a few laughs to your day. We appreciate you guys listening and enjoy the show. Welcome back to the Real Talk Podcast, man. Today is a real special one from me, man. I got somebody that used to be my supervisor. Realest dude, man, I know. Really good guy, man. He's a great supervisor, not because he forces it, man, but he lives it. So I really respected that, man. I wanted to get on a podcast. Today we're going to talk about leadership, life, gaming, whatever else comes up, man. So I'm happy to get into it. I'm ready to get into it. But first, go ahead and introduce yourself real quick.
Royal here knows me as Lieutenant Follett. Name is Jeffrey Follett. Man, I'm 43. Shit, where's my children? I gotta do the math, man. Yeah, it's 43. Shit. Man, I've been working at that at the jail with you for, I don't know how long you've been there, but I've been there
2 years.
18 years. Started after I got out of the military. I got medically retired. From there, before that, I was up in New York. I'm born and raised in upstate New York.
Man, I would have never guessed that. That's
cool. From the country. But from there, man, pick my brain like you always wanted to.
Let's go, man. I want to say, man, honestly, like, what's unique about you, like, in the middle of a shit, we be talking about, like, gaming, satellites, and then something pop off, you go straight to handling business. So, like, two questions, man. One, sometimes I feel like it's hard to differentiate that, especially with leadership. But the first question is, like, that curiosity, like, where did that come from? Like, have you always been like that?
I can't say I've always been like that. Because I'm a good soldier. I'll be real. As a supervisor looking down, I look at myself growing up, I was a good soldier. You give me something to do, I'm going to do it. If you let me on my own, I'm going to wander around and do dumb shit. That's probably why, for me, military was the best option. But I just molded into it. I was a soldier that kind of fell into a leadership position, kept on moving up, and I don't forget where I come from, so I try to lead that away.
Nah, I could definitely understand.
And
man,
I try to build my leadership as the leader I wanted for me when I was in the Army. I'd rather have a leader that's up there out front. You know, I've told you this, and you've probably seen it 100 times.
100 times.
I'm not going to ask you to do something I'm unwilling to do myself.
Yep, I'm be saying that too, man.
And so, you know, I get there. If I ask you to get in the mud, man, if something go wrong, I'm right there next to you.
Mm-hmm. I could definitely understand that, man.
I just fell in. It's just natural. I can't tell you where it come from. It's not forced. I don't practice it. It's just a natural occurrence for me.
That makes sense, man. It does seem natural too, man. Like it's not like it's forced. Like I said earlier, man. So that I think that's what's like respectable about it, because it just comes off as natural. And it's like I had some people like that in the military too, man. It's like, man, they said something, I'm ready to go, just because of how they live. So I think that's something that's like when you see it, like you meet, to me at least, man. I just want to be like a sponge. You know what I'm saying, around that kind of stuff. And then like shaping that, like you said, like in the military, you kind of like naturally fell into it. What helps you stay grounded? Like, is there anything that you could pinpoint that helps you stay grounded?
I don't know. It's I said I was from New York. I'm from upstate New York. I've been to all the 4 major cities upstate New York, but I've never been to New York City. I'm country. I don't like being in cities that much. So my parents were my dad's very grounded, very grounded person. And I get it from him, but I don't know. I don't know what keeps me down. I just like dealing with what is, not what it can be or what it was, because it doesn't help you in that situation.
Man,
it's just like, yeah, it should be different, but I mean, we still shoveling this pile of shit, aren't we?
That's so true, man. I find myself like leading towards that like mindset, because it's like you said, you can wish for it to be different.
Yeah,
but it's still gonna be. It is what it is at the end of the day, man.
Yeah, and I just find wasted emotions very exhausting.
It is.
Like,
man.
we can get mad about the shit show we in, but that's a wasted exhaustion in the time we need to focus on something else. We can sit around and talk about how it got there and improve on not getting there again, but it doesn't change the fact that we're in it.
Right, man.
And we just got to accept that fact and move forward. I find it just an easier way to deal with it, and it's less frustrating, less stressful.
It is.
That if you don't worry about how we got there or why we're there, and just deal with what we have, and then we can, at a time of our leisure and our pace, address it so we don't get there again.
I can definitely respect that, man. It used to be a term that I said, I heard in the military, it was like, embrace the suck. Like, you gotta embrace it,
you
man.
got it, man.
You gotta embrace it.
Listen, the best video I've ever seen of that, it's a video going around online. It's a bunch of, I don't know if it's soldiers or Marines, but they're out, it looks like they're in a FOP, a forward operating position, and they're barbecuing. They're taking shots from the enemy, and they continued barbecuing. The rest of the team go up on the wall, but the 2-3 guys,
that's legit,
sit there, just continue barbecuing, ducking once in a while. I think one of them go get a helmet, and that's about as much as care they had. And I was like, I mean, you make the best of the situation you got.
That's the best analogy, man. Like that's exactly what I'm talking about, man. Like, that's the best analogy. What do you think? Like, what do you think in your time of leadership, man? What do you think of like some misunderstandings? Like, do you think there's any misunderstandings about it that people walk into it with? Because you've seen it. Like, I've seen it done right, and then I seen it done wrong.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
What I noticed is I'm trying to make sure I answer it correctly. Misunderstandings, like people becoming leaders.
Yeah, like both that and then how it projects.
Yeah. One, what I see is a lot of people don't, before they become leaders, they have this set mindset what a leader is, and not is, but what their job is and what privileges they have. And then they get up there and it's not all that, or it's completely different than what their purview on the other side of the fence was.
Right.
So they get up there and it's not what they thought it would be, or they're trying to make it what they want it to be instead of trying to lead with what it is.
I can understand that.
And so those people I've seen throughout the years, I think they struggle being leaders because they're not trying to lead with what they have, but they're trying to lead with what they think it should be, or what they want it to be.
I can understand that.
Because you get some leaders out there that are like, well, I'm the sergeant, I'm a lieutenant. I get off at this time. I'm supposed to get off at this time. And I mean, I've had this conversation with supervisor. I think you were around when I had it before. It's like, you can't, if you don't have people to lead, you're not a supervisor.
Man, that's true.
And so, until you can get your people to stay, you can't be that good leader or have the privileges that come with leaders. Some people think the privileges come right off the bat, like that Bentley or whatever they got in their mind, and they want to have all the privileges, but you can't have the privileges if you don't got staff.
100%, man.
Especially in our field.
Man.
If you have no staff, you can't be going home at 4:00.
You can't. Nobody gonna want to work for you.
Like, you get mad all you want. I gotta leave at 4. No, you can't leave at 4 if you got no one that wants to show up for you.
Yeah, that's true. That's super true, man.
So the misunderstanding is people don't understand the nature of what leadership should be. Everyone thinks it's I got less work to do. I should have to do less.
That's very true.
And And that's not how I view it. I view it that if I do more, then I can do less.
That make a lot of sense.
So if I go in there and do extra for you when you come at me with a problem or someone else, and I make sure you guys are taken care of, I have yet to have it fail me outright. Now, I've had a few people come in but that's just people in general.
Right.
Come in and they get all the help and then they still bail. I don't chalk it up to the group in general. It's just, bad apples.
Yeah.
But in general, I never had a fail where if I made sure you guys are taken care of as people that are under me, that you guys show up. That means I can then leave at 4, or I can then do and get a little bit of privileges that come with the rank. But my unit also runs smoother. So you guys in turn have an easier time. You have less overtime. I've seen it. I don't know if you're working for me. You've seen it. People before me taking care of schedules, doing something else. But I go in and I don't know, maybe I got touched with schedules, but I take care of it. And then it goes from, we had all these overtimes to, I don't have that many overtimes.
Nah, that's true, man. That's very true.
And everyone else, they got overtime. It's still there, but it's not it's more predictable. It's easy. It's not as much because it's smooth. I iron it out. It's like iron a wrinkle on a shirt.
Yeah.
You're still going to have the shirt there, but you iron it out so it's not, you're misplacing manpower.
That makes a lot of sense. That's a very good way of putting it, though.
Yeah.
It's like, because sometimes we have, let me see how to put this. Like somebody's skill might be in the wrong position, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
And like you said, like, it's misplacing manpower. And I think that's like understanding that. And then too, man, it's like a team effort, man. Like asking questions. Like you real big on asking questions, man. Like you don't mind people asking you questions, coming to you. You will ask questions, you know what I'm saying? So it's like, I think that part of it maybe is missing, because sometimes when you get in that leadership position, the culture could be like, and that's anywhere. It could be like, you're this now, you're a corporal, you're a sergeant, you're a commander, whatever the case may be. You need to know this. Yeah. And it's like, man, like, that how do you figure things out besides asking questions and analyzing them?
Here's the trick: you don't know.
Right.
You don't know.
Right, man.
You don't know. Maybe people are different, but for me, I don't know. I don't know everything. A leader, in my opinion, a leader that says they know everything doesn't know anything. It just, it's my experience, and it has yet to be, in general, misguided experience. You don't know everything, and the people under you is your best source of information. Man, I look at it like this. It's an engineer designing a building. Engineer is an architect designing a building, but actually the builder's building it. And they're like, well, we can do it like this and it should work. And then the people building it going, you don't know what to, it's not, no, it don't work like that. Or you make it near impossible. And, those two famous are not talking to each other. Yeah, that's another thing too. But me, if I'm designing the building or the work of the unit, I'm going to ask the people on the ground, does it actually work? Not should it work? Does it on paper work? Does it in application work? Yeah. Because you fail to take into account the officers and the inmates. Because on paper, it should work. Yeah. But so that's why I ask you. It's like, hey, what you see? I don't know. I'll tell you. I was like, all right, well, do you see? And I asked, do you see it working better a different way? It was like, tell me. Like, let me know. You're in there. Mm-hmm. If a tweak needs to be happened, I don't have a problem. It's not stepping on my toes, because my job is to guide us in the right direction, but I can't do it blind. Very true, man. That's a very good perspective, man. I think a lot of people miss that. Any leadership that you could pass on to somebody, like if you had opportunity to pass it on, what would it be? Man, I think I've told you this 100 times. Don't be afraid to listen to your people. Don't be afraid to ask the questions. And the one thing that I think everyone should take into account, don't be afraid to be wrong and be corrected. Like
That's a major one, man.
I have major respect for my supervisor. You know, they're hard on people. They have a rep. They have a rep for being very hard on people. To me, after the initial onset, I take it. Yeah. I like it. I'm the same. Listen. You know, my supervisor will sit there and grill me, and I go back for more when it's not even my turn. And you think I ask for punishment, but I'm asking for improvement.
Yeah. Oh man.
Like
that's a good one.
Like I'm always trying to improve. I am quick to even tell myself I'm wrong before I even think anyone else think I'm wrong. Because I'm far from perfect. I'm far from knowing everything. And
me and you both.
I try to go around and understand my flaws. I try to understand the type of person I am. And I don't blame my failures or my mistakes on anybody else. Like, I can respect that. Like I don't.
Okay, so let me ask you this, man. I don't want to get off topic.
You good?
So like that part right there, like you say, you don't blame your failures and things like that. How did you make that switch to like, I call it accountability, but like, how did you take ownership? That's a better word, ownership. Like, how do you take ownership like that? Because it's like, man, well, they didn't do this. They didn't show up. They didn't do this. I told them how to do it. They should have read the policy. They should have blah, blah, blah. And it's like, how do you take ownership on what you did? Because you can't control everything, but how did you get to that mindset?
Because beating yourself up, and I consider it beating yourself up, but when you look at it like it's everyone else's fault, you'll never make progress to improve or have a better life. If every mistake in your life is blamed on someone else, and I mean in our job field we hear it all the time. How many people you see come in the door and it's like, well, it was their fault, their fault, but you always hear. I'm not saying, all right, it's not saying other people had played a part in negative stuff that happens in your life, but you can't change them. So if you continue blaming where you at on everyone around you and never focus on what I can do different to prevent me being in that same predicament, you'll never get out of it. Never. So I heard this and I don't even know where I heard it from. It's like you're the CEO of your own life. You run your own life. And problems happen within a business, right? But does the CEO go around and it's all them fault? It's that business's fault? No, you are the driver of your life. Yes, outside factors affect your business, but as the CEO of your own life, you need to make changes to you so that you progress further.
That's a powerful mindset, man.
So, like, if you go through and you have these struggles, you have situations go on, and you get caught up. Or I'll use this: you driving down the road, right? And the deer run out in front of you, and you run into it. Even in a situation like that, you have somewhat control over the situation. Mm-hmm. Maybe not at that exact moment because of all the decisions made up to that moment, but you have abilities to affect what ran up to that moment.
I agree.
So going down, we'll use the back road to the sheriff's department. Mm-hmm. There's deer on that back road.
All the time.
All right. So let's say the first time you go down there, you're like, I didn't know. So you're going down that road, smacked into the deer. And it's like, oh shit, man, I couldn't change it, but you could. You didn't have the knowledge to begin with, but you now have the knowledge, the ability to change. You're like, okay, cool. I can either make sure I get up extra 5 minutes in the morning so we go around through the stoplight, or if I go down that road, I'd be more aware of the surroundings, drive a little slower, and change. So you can make changes of how it got to you into that predicament. you might not be able to change the predicament itself. Like
that make a lot of sense.
Like,
man.
you know, because the deer coming out, you couldn't really change the fact that deer coming out. You couldn't change the act of God's moments, but you can change the run up to it.
Yeah. That's I just thought that was important when you said that, man, because it's like you said, I see it all the time, and then it's like, I always think like, how did I make that? Like, how do I not think like that? Like, what did it take for me not to think like that? And then like, why do people continue to repeat that cycle? But it's just, that's why I asked you that, man. It's just like, it's just interesting, man, because it's like, man, like you see it and you see sometimes the issue, you can see the issue from the outside looking in, but it's up to that person to make the change. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And that's the tough part, because it's like, man, dude, you got a lot of potential, man. Or like, hey, man, you could really, but it's like, they got to make the decision for themselves, man. But yeah, that's real, man. I like that. I want to switch gears for a little bit. Okay. Gaming, man. Like you mentioned to me about gaming. Man, I remember that.
I try to get Trig into that. I keep on talking to Trig, man. And then we got a new guy called named Exley, man.
Oh yeah, man.
Yeah,
he into it too.
He plays gotcha games.
Got you. What is that?
That's the Korean and Chinese. Like, you ever heard of Genshin Impact?
Never heard of
that. The gotcha games have what is it? A mechanic where you can buy packs or loot boxes where you randomly get stuff out of it. And you have a chance to get a better character or a better weapon.
Oh, that's legit.
Genshin Impact is a kind of in my opinion, it looks like a semi knockoff of like Zelda.
Gotcha.
The new Zelda games. The art style, the mechanics within the game kind of feels like Zelda.
What first got you into gaming? Because you do the PC gaming, right?
I do PC.
So like, how did you get into that?
My entire life.
All the time?
Growing up in high school, right? Yeah. PCs just came on the market. They were just been able to get in the household. Like, so growing up, I played a lot of PC games. I wouldn't say a lot compared to now. Holy crap. There were very few. But I was gaming growing up, man.
That's legit.
Nintendo, when I was young, like regular Nintendo came out. That was the hot shit. And then Super Nintendo. And then in high school, when high school N64 and PlayStation rolled out.
64, man.
Right? So
classic. So
I got into gaming with that, but I also played PC games. But your dad got a PC growing up. So, I played like an NAACP NCAA basketball, NCAA. Holy crap! I can name it off every other acronym in the world, but the one I was looking for. And I played the basketball. The basketball game I played, it was just a court and a hoop. There were no people around it. The graphics were horrible, but I thought it was the greatest shit in the world, man.
Hours on it. So you built your own system?
I've had all my computers custom built. I want to build.
That's pretty legit.
Like,
man.
I've over time I've kind of built a computer, replacing parts, putting a new graphics card in, putting a new processor in.
That's pretty legit.
But the computers themselves were custom ordered and pre-built, brought in. But I want to build mine outright, but if I get into it and I start looking at all the parts, and it's kind of like trying to put a Lego set together with not necessarily all the directions, in my opinion.
Yeah, I can understand that.
I know where I could go get the directions. I know the basis. I know, you need a motherboard and a chipset that match, and you can't get a motherboard that's too big for the case you have. Mm-hmm. So I know the basis, but when you put it that you got to order it all and the amount of money you got to sink it in, it's like, do I really want to risk it? Put it in there. Then get it all together, and then I fucked up, got the wrong piece, did something, and then I got to spend more money. So, I guess you call it cold feet. I'll be there. I was like, all right, I got my order. I go to the website, give them the order, make sure all the parts match, and I'm like, yeah, no. But I can change out individual pieces. I know how to do all that. Just when it comes to the overwhelming, to me, throwing it all together, it's like, I'll just pre-order, buy it.
That makes sense, man. It reminds me like a project car or something like that.
Yeah.
Like that's like what comes to mind with that. Do you have a go-to setup or like a game right now that you be playing?
Well, okay, so right now, I play everything. I play Schedule 1.
Schedule 1. What is that?
It's a drug dealing game. It's the most ridiculous shit in the world. It's a game. It's an indie game. It's made by one guy. It's like clay figures, all cartoonish, and you grow, make it, package it, and you run around and you give GTA. It out. Yeah, similar. But GTA, you do unwanted violence. This is just focused around this little cartoony town. And the funny thing is when you mix the drugs with other stuff, you give them to people that have funny side effects. They explode. The head catch on fire. You turn a white guy black and a black guy white. Turn them cyclops, or turn them all green. It's just weird ass side effects, and it's funny.
That's hilarious, man.
It's just it's not serious in any means. It's hilarious. And I play it with my girlfriend's son. We got really close before he left off for the Marines, so we'll play a bunch of games. That's how I connect with him over.
That's pretty legit.
Over when he in 29 pounds, he'll get on and we'll just talk shit and play dumb games.
I think that's another thing I like about games too, because for a while I didn't have a system. Like I just got one from Perry. I bought his system. And that's one thing I like about it, the headsets, man. Like you're able to connect, like talk to people and stuff like that. And that's really what all I use it for. Like when I play games and stuff like that, usually there's like to talk to people at work or like talk to some of my friends and things like that. That's pretty legit, man.
Man, I try to get everybody into PC gaming.
And you could crossplay too, right?
Yeah, it's easier to crossplay with Xbox than it is PlayStation. But there's a bunch of games out there that crossplay with PlayStation.
Call of Duty?
Yeah. Helldivers. Helldivers is PlayStation, but not Xbox. Because it's a PlayStation game. But that's another game. Gotcha. If you never played it, whenever you get a chance,
I'm about to check that out.
It is probably...
I got a list of them.
It's probably the most cinematic, chaotic game you'll ever play in your life.
I'm going to check that out.
It's a third-person shooter where you play. How is it best described? You ever watch? I can't think of the damn name.
Hellboy? Hellboy?
No. You ever watch the movie with the bugs that attack? It has the dude from How I Met Your Mother on it.
The bugs that attack? Let me see.
Yeah. Dude, you got me brain farting.
Yeah, I'm looking it up. Trying to look it up now.
Let me see.
Home Defense?
No, actors that played in How I Met Your Mother.
Neil Patrick?
Yeah, and then
Neil Patrick.
Rick Harris. He played in Starship Troopers.
Yeah.
Okay, so think of that movie, right?
Yeah.
Made into video game, but add robots and actual other aliens and bugs, right? So you drop in like Halo, the Halo drop ships where the Spartans drop in. Well, you drop in something like that. You come out, and then listen, I don't know if it's the people I play with or what. Every time you come out, the whole world's either on fire or just bug acid all over the place. And it's cinematic. It is a very hard game to describe to someone but when you go in, it's just straight sheer chaos. It's kind of like it's like someone says, "Hey, we're the enemies," and you said yes because there's not a wrong answer.
That's so funny, man.
Yeah, and
do you ever play Ghost of Tsushima?
I had not.
Is that a PC game?
Yeah. I don't know if it plays on console. It's a PC game. I got it on my wish list.
That's a pretty dope game.
I thought about playing it.
I haven't made it far, but it's a pretty good game, man.
Yeah,
I like that.
I play a lot of indie games.
How many games do you think you have, or like that you personally have? Because Perry told me a crazy number. I'm like, how do you have that many games, man?
Dude,
like, what the?
Did you understand?
He told me a crazy number. I'm like, yo, that's like a lifetime supply.
I can tell you. I could log in right now and tell you on my Steam account, but that don't even start to begin.
And Steam is like similar to like a PlayStation Network, like it's like the hub.
Steam has almost a monopoly on PC games. Like There's the Epic Game Store, there's the EA Game Store. You have Xbox. If you have Xbox Live, Xbox has their store on there. But
it's a subscription base?
No.
Oh, that's legit.
No, it's just a shoot. Now you're going to ask me to put it, man. All this dual authentication stuff.
But yeah, I don't know when that started, man. I think it's when Facebook made that switch to like if they was making a merger or whatever with Meta, or when they changed the name. That's when I started noticing that all this other stuff popping up.
Well, I know in the gaming world, it started popping up because people are stealing accounts. Or
that happened to me, man. Somebody bought like $500 worth of games on my PSP account.
They
man, I was pissed.
I haven't done it on the phone.
But you think over 200?
Oh yeah,
really?
Between Xbox, EA, and Epic, yeah.
Man, that's legit, man.
Like.
How deep, how immersed do you get though? Like, do you have like the headset type thing?
I have VR.
What do you think about that?
It's okay. It's good. It's going to get a lot better as we go along. If you got the money, VR can be extremely fun and immersive. Like, I bought the Quest 3.
What's that? That's the same thing?
Yeah, it's the Meta. It's the Meta headset.
That's pretty legit.
It's the one that's the most affordable because you can buy it for $300 to $600.
That's pretty legit.
All the other ones are $1,000 or more.
So like the Quest one is like what do you have to do with that?
Nothing. It's it's self-contained. And that's another reason why I bought it is because I'm like, if I'm going to get it and I don't like it, my children could take it and play with it. And it's all self-contained.
When you say that, you mean like games built into it?
Yeah. It's got its own game store in
That's
it.
Pretty cool.
But it was still compatible with my PC. What I didn't like is it's got the cord that runs to it that you have to hook it up to the PC, but all of them got that. So it's you got to hook it up. I got a 60-foot cord, so you can wander wherever pretty much.
That's pretty legit, man.
And you hook it up to the PC, and it boosts the graphics output of it. It gives you I can go through my Steam and play the VR games on the Steam.
That's pretty legit.
So that's good. I got it. I was thinking about turning one of my rooms in the house into a VR room if I liked it enough.
How would you do that?
Well, if you took like this room here,
right?
What I was looking at, the Valve Index, which is the same company that owns Steam, does that game called Valve Index, which is another VR headset, but it needs a PC, a beefy PC to really do it. But it's got sensors that sense where you're at and gives you a better map of the room. So
That's pretty crazy.
Because with the Quest, you put it on and you kind of walk your room, you run your line, and it works pretty good. I find it works pretty good. But hold
on. So like I'm trying to picture it in my head. So you like, can you see out of it?
Yeah.
Okay, got you.
Like you can have it. You can have it showing. It's a little nauseating because it's not as fluid as if you're looking in your real eyes. But if you need to do it, you can, and you could turn it on and do it's called set your own boundaries, and you just take the gun, the little handgun thing, and you just walk around because it has a little laser point which you can see it, and you just walk it around and kind of like MS Paint your room.
That's pretty legit.
And then you set your boundaries. But if you set them too close to the wall and you walk to it and you punch the wall, that hurt. So you got to set them back a little bit.
That's hilarious, man.
But it's fun. There's a lot of novelty games in it. I've seen people have some massive setups. Like they got stuff out there that are a walking pad. Like
so you're stationary, but you're able to walk.
Yeah. So the one I see it, the one I have in my head is like someone took a giant plastic circle and smoothed it really smooth, made it slippery, and put a bowl, and then you put little socks over your feet or whatnot and make it extra slippery, and then you harness yourself in so that you can walk, but you're not moving nowhere.
That's wild.
So
man.
Your movement of your feet move the character in the game, so you're gonna.
That's pretty crazy.
So some of your immersive milsim games out there, I can't think of them off the top of my head because I would love to play them, but I never downloaded them or tried to play them with the Quest because I felt I would need a better setup to enjoy it. Like you can get little plastic guns.
That's crazy.
That you can pretend you have a rifle. Or I seen one guy have a pistol where he practices the gun range with the pistol.
That's pretty legit.
So your controller fits right in and it just acts like a real pistol.
That's pretty crazy, man.
So because trying to aim a gun when you got two hands that are not connected, it can become
I can see that.
Weird because I played a game called Hot Dogs, Horseshoes, and Hand Grenades. It's all about weapon manipulation in the VR. It's grenades. You go to ranges. They got a couple scenarios where you go through shoot houses or weird setup, and the hot dog parts, they'll be your enemy, and you have to shoot them. But
I can see that as training too, like in the future or something like that.
Oh yeah,
you know what I mean.
Like,
I can see that.
It wouldn't be too hard, but it's like it literally had minor manipulation. Where on the AR platform, where you got the pulling of the charging handle back, you have to grab and charge it. In the game you're pushing, or in real life you're pushing the button on the controller, but in the game you have to actually, it shows you dropping the magazine for reload.
That's pretty legit.
I've seen people have setups where it pretends it's on a sling when you change weapons.
That's wild.
And then you got to pick it back up.
I could see that too, like with schools too, like field trips. Like you be like, yo, we're gonna go learn about ancient Rome, and like we're going back to like medieval times or something like that. And like you put on the headset or whatever. Because back in when I was going to school, they had smart boards.
Yeah,
stuff like that.
The potential to that is beyond limits. It really is. But if we roll into that, the only limit we'll have with that is our technology.
Yeah, true. I can see that.
At the time. But it would be interesting to watch it go.
It would, man. Switch gears again, man. Like, do you have quotes or anything in your head, like a philosophy or like something that sticks in your mind? It's like a something you go to. Like one of mine was like, learn from everything and everybody. You know what I mean? Another one is I'm not better than anybody, but nobody's better than me. Like it kind of like things like that help me keep like just stay level headed or whatever. Like, do you have anything like that?
No, I mean, Not really. I mean, I got quotes. It's like, basically, I've said it to many people. Everything can't be puppy dogs and rainbows and unicorns, man. Like you gotta accept life is can be very miserable, and you gotta accept kind of what the situation you're in and not wallow in it. But that's not really quotes. That's something that I have in my head because I got random stuff. I mean, I just random shit come out my mouth all the time. Whoever organizes my brain is very disorganized.
It's like filing cabinets everywhere.
No, it's like someone went into a bookshelf or an old library and took the little cars they used to use to look up books, threw them all on the floor, and then threw all the books on the floor. And you might be walking down the aisle of fantasy, and all of a sudden, somebody's facts pull up. It's like you're on the fantasy aisle, but the Encyclopedia Britannica opens up. What the fuck is this? Yeah, it's.
I can relate to that. I can definitely relate to that.
That's why in my conversations when we sit in the hub, just
all
over the place.
It'd be so like you have so much. You have a lot of knowledge on a lot of things, man. I just be interested. Like, man, how do you know that? Like, how do you even know that, man?
The funny thing is, I don't remember how the hell I learned it.
I remember one time I came in and you was talking about dark matter. It was like some type of physics thing.
Yeah,
you was talking about. I was like, that's crazy.
Yeah,
I didn't even know that, man.
I got in a conversation with Sergeant Garcia. Right?
About the same thing?
Not quite. It was we had gotten to talk. He started talking about the Neuralink.
So I've been hearing about that.
Yeah, and he was asking me what I thought about that, and would it be awesome, or would I do that? And I was like, man, I don't think I would. And here's the reason and why. I was like, someone put it in your head. You can't convince me that it's 100% secure.
Right.
All right. Someone made that. Like someone had direct hand in making it. So whoever made it, at least one person can hack it. And when it comes to your personal autonomy,
that would be super crazy.
Like, the probability of if everybody in the world's doing it, right? And you can guarantee that there's one person that can have control. The possibility of them, say, choosing me to hack is very low, but it's a hell of a lot scarier than having,
I was looking it up. Neuralink device designed to control the human brain to connect them to computers, allowing users to control external devices with their thoughts.
Yeah,
that's crazy.
Yeah,
man.
but
that's pretty legit.
So our entire conversation weaved back and forth from saying doing stuff like, in anime, there's something called a show called Sword Art Online. And they have a full dive where it puts you in an area, it makes you feel like you're physically there. Well, what if they can do that with the Neuralink?
Right.
And I was like, I still don't like the fact that some be able to hack it. But then the topic weaved around from there to practical applications.
As far as what?
Well, if you're able to map and say get a full mapping of the brain is and I believe that's what part of that is the more control means we got to have a better map of the brain. We don't know shit about
that's
the
true.
brain. We don't even
like a small percentage.
We don't even know why fundamentally we need to sleep. Unless that came out within the last couple months.
Right.
We as humans, we know if we don't sleep, we get sick. We know if we don't do X, Y will happen.
Right.
But they don't know why we need to do X. Besides the cause of not
The after effects.
Yeah, we know that if we don't sleep, we get sick.
Right.
Right? But we don't fundamentally know why we absolutely need to sleep, because the brain doesn't actually really shut down when you sleep.
That's true.
So it's not like sleeping shuts down your brain and you got less activity. There's a lot of times where there's more activity when you're sleeping.
That's true, yeah.
So we fundamentally don't know why.
I never thought about it like that.
Sleep
That makes sense now.
Need sleep. So I bring it up at a chance of being slightly wrong or wrong, but we don't know a lot about the brain. So you got to map the brain and know more to implement that in there. But side effects is all the people that come to jail or need mental help. If you are able to map the brain and say rewire the brain or redo the brain so that you can get rid of mental health, and that'd be a good thing. But morally, are they the same person?
Yeah, that's true. That is a good question.
Because it falls underneath the there's an old philosophy. God, what is the name of the philosophy? Let me get that real quick. Philosophy, when you replace wood parts of the boat so much as it the same boat. I said that all wrong. Oh, ship of Theseus.
Ship of Theseus.
Yeah, it's a paradox. So I don't even need to read it. I know what that is. It's basically you have a boat, a wooden boat, and if you replace every single part gradually over time on the boat, is it still the same boat?
That's a good question. I would think I think it'll be a new boat at that point. Like it'll be,
but it's still the same boat because you didn't repay. It's not like you went out and the whole boat broke and you just happened to rebuild a boat in the same fashion.
That's a good question.
You had the original boat, right, and then you replaced each board over a period of time, so that every single piece of the boat has been replaced.
Right.
Is it the same boat?
That's a very good question.
So that's the paradox. But I feel that'd be the same paradox.
Yeah, with a
is
person.
if you go up there and you fix what we consider broken, are they in the end the same person?
That's a good question, man. So what would be the difference? What would be the difference between that and medication? Like, because a medication fixes the person too.
But it's temporary. When you stop taking meds,
true,
you're back. So you're not changing the person. The person's still there. You're just changing temporarily the method, the way the body is operating.
So let me see if I'm getting it right. Like the Neuralink would be like I could crank up my car by thinking about it. Like that type of stuff. That
type of stuff. Or instead of us getting on our phone or something, or you typing on the computer, you just think
like that quote. Like, what is that quote? And then it just come to me.
Yeah,
that's great.
Like right now, it will just come up on the screen.
Right.
So right now it's not in.
It's not in my head.
It's just instead of holding the controller in your hand,
gotcha.
You're using it in the head. In fact, I think recently they just had a guy beat a video game with Neuralink.
He has Neuralink already?
Yeah, there's people. They're in human trials.
That's wild.
And I think they had a guy that had just beaten. I don't know what game it was, but had just beaten a game, a semi-modern or modern video game.
Man, that's
by
wild.
thinking out the movements. So they're progressing, and there's a lot of applications to it.
Yeah.
But I think there's a moral conundrum as you go further in, because applications can be it can be stuff as simple as seeing for you.
True.
Feeling.
Paralyzed.
Yeah, being able to act as your spine.
Right.
Like maybe the Neuralink will allow us to do a overlay of a spine, so we can have have an overlay through the brake, so it can help people move that couldn't move. I mean, there's a lot of medical applications that don't touch in the moral level, but if you start getting to, let's say, what we deal with here at the jail is mental health.
Yeah, man.
And you start rewiring people's brains so that it solves the mental health problem. But the ultimate moral question is, are they the same person?
That is a good question, man.
Because that's a slippery slope. All right, so we can all agree on a general sense that somebody that has severe manic depression or severe dissociative disorder or schizophrenia, we go in and we bypass whatever part of the brain or fix whatever misfiring neurons that cause that particular problem, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it's just all we do is cause a slight bypass so it doesn't cause that issue. But in my opinion, it becomes a slippery slope, because then you go in and go, well, those are mental health, but your behavior is not mental health. So you slide down. It's like, and then I can see people, because if I can think it, people will do it in that sense. And that's kind of how we are. It's like, okay, people that steal, rob, well, find out where that causes that instinct.
That's crazy.
And after 5 times, the court orders you a rewiring.
Yo, that's crazy.
Because
I could see that too.
But yeah, because it's simple. It's because they used to do it to people. They used to do lobotomies to people.
Man.
When they wouldn't act what they thought should be normal, you shove a stick in their eye and do a lobotomy.
That is crazy.
So it's not like we haven't been in that moral conundrum before. We just change the tools we do so.
That would be wild.
So I look at it like this. This is the slippery slope. Let's say this one religion takes control, majority of certain areas, and they start forcing that upon people. And then they rewire people to think the way they want. Because the more we learn how to say rewire or recircuit the brain so we fix what we can all agree on, then you're on this slippery slope.
It is.
And so there's a lot of good, but in my opinion, there's a extreme amount of bad that could come along with it.
That's very true, man. Just like, you ever seen the movie Upgrade? Like, that's an extreme version.
I have not seen that.
You haven't seen that movie?
No.
Upgrade, man. That's basically what you're talking about. It's the exact thing you're talking about. But it's like, it's similar to that, man. And that's a good question, because, you know, I'm thinking about like how your computer could catch a virus. What if that catches a virus?
Well, yeah,
and give you like super strength, take away pain.
That would give you super strength. Period.
Just destroying people.
That's things that, like, if you can take away someone's pain, right? Good. But it is also bad, because the human body has enough strength to tear itself apart.
Yeah.
The only reason why we don't is because we register pain. And so if we exert ourselves too much at the gym, you got sore muscles, your body is self-regulating. But if you remove the pain receptors or the self-regulating part, you can be able to lift a car and throw it off a child. Because we've had accounts of that happening. We have the capabilities, but if you remove those limiters, there's good and bad to it.
It is, man. I don't know. That's kind of scary. I'm not gonna lie. When you said like it could be court ordered to like be rewired, man. That's hella scary.
Like, because that's a slippery slope.
It is, and I can see that happening.
Because you go down. And I look in my mind, and this is kind of my overall view is if you can think it, don't even say, "Oh, that never happened," because if you yourself can think it, but you'll think it's absolutely absurd. Don't sit there and go, just because you think it's absurd, someone does not think that's a brilliant ass idea.
Some super villain, and like, yo, that's crazy, man.
So. Because you hear people all the time think of crazy ass shit,
and they act it out,
and they act it out, and then you start doing it. You'll do they put a solution to a problem. It is the solution, but is it really the solution we want?
Yeah, true. That's very true. That's a good question. That should be like, you should be like on a council for this or something, man. Like, this is crazy. Because those are legit questions, man, that you should think of. Because in my head, they'd be like, yo, like some people are like, yo, that's cool, man. And that would be convenient on a lot of different things.
Yeah.
Like I wake up late, oh shoot, start my car, go ahead and do this, go ahead and call my people as I'm getting ready. Like that would be a great solution. But what about the opposite? Because what is it, Maslow's law? Every action has an equal opposite reaction. It might be something else, but you know what I'm talking about, right?
I always think Murphy's law.
It might be
everything that can go wrong will go wrong.
Exactly.
It's
so like that's a powerful tool, but it can also like what about war, man? What about like?
Well, I'll give you nuclear. Nuclear is probably the most modern example of that. Nuclear itself is very destructive, very frightening technology, but it's extremely helpful. It's extremely useful in a lot of things. We're finding more every day of nuclear medicine, using, as you study it, we learn different types of radiation are good for different things.
Yeah, true. That's what I was thinking about.
Yeah, we get scared of it. We're so scared of it that we, for years, got away from try to get rid of nuclear energy. And that's probably one of the easiest solutions to our dilemma now, trying to have energy that doesn't rely on fossil fuels.
True.
And so we're so scared of it, we set ourselves back. So it's kind of like the best modern example of that is you have a potential for a lot of good, but you have a potential for a lot of bad.
Yeah.
And so, and the only major scary part is I think our determination of morality is slower than the advancement of technology.
That's very true, man. Now that part right there, the morality part, man. I think that's what because not everybody's the same.
Correct.
You know what I mean? So that's where it's a spectrum.
Yeah, and you like I use the example is I'll use a modern example now. Is someone took slightly into politics here. Not really stating if I agree or disagree. It's just observation. The Doge, Elon Musk and that team, right? Mm-hmm. And everyone's screaming that this isn't called for. This is wrong. People, not everyone, but people are screaming it's wrong and stuff like that. Well, mainly it's opposition. But you were fine when you gave the same power to a president you agreed with. Mm. So I always tell people when you're trying to start something new, in politics, in medicine, think of if someone that has bad intentions or you don't agree with, get a hold of it, what can they do with it?
It's a good, yeah.
So it's like you might want it for you so you can do what you feel is good. But what if someone that has ill intentions or opposing intentions of what you would want get a hold of the same thing?
That's a good question.
Should you do it? Because I use Doge is because the reason why it's so hard for the Democrats or the liberals to stop our president and Elon Musk from doing that is because that was passed by Congress for Obama. And at the time, I don't remember the political field, but I think there was a lot of conservatives that were against them starting this particular program. And that's all I say is not an agreement or disagreement, but you passed it then with a lot of people supporting because you support the person in office. But you never stopped going, what if someone in office I completely dislike got a hold of the same program and tried to use it the way they want to use it? You put all this in there, but you put not the checks and balance that you want now.
Yeah, true.
And the question becomes, always if you implement something, try to bring stuff in. Would you want someone that has ill intentions having the same power as the person you just gave that you agreed with?
Man, that's a good question, man. I always, like, as you was talking, what came to mind was like access, like too much access, like having way too much access.
Correct. So someone with ill intentions, like if someone with good intentions have it and they're not going to try to fuck with you,
yeah,
cool. But I'm telling you, that's not going to be forever, like at all.
That's true. That's true.
You might get a few years, and then you're going to have someone has ulterior motives beyond goodwill if they get a hold of it.
That's very true.
So, and that's how things can spiral out of control. It is not giant leaps, but just that. I mean,
gradual.
Yeah, it's the best phrase ever. The pathway to hell is paved with good intentions.
Man, that's very true. That's very true.
So it's fine. The first step, it's good and good and good, but eventually, as you slowly approach the red line, the red fades away. You become colorblind, and it starts fading. It's gray, and you get in that gray, morally gray area. And once you get across the gray area, then you crossed. It's like people that work in our field. It's like they bring one thing in. It's slightly off.
Yeah.
Now you cross that line, even though
it's a pen.
Even though it's a gray area,
man,
you crossed the line,
and then that opened the door,
and it's all downhill.
Man, that's a great analogy,
and that right there is applicable to a lot of things in life. Do you really want this for everyone else? And I mean, that's something as we go through life, we have to. Each generation, each group of people have to decide. But also understand that everything you do has consequences, good or bad, seen or unseen.
Yo, that's a very good quote.
And
that's very true.
And you need to always think: should we do this? Just because it has the best benefits today, does the negatives further down the road outweigh the benefits?
Man, I like the way you thought about that, because it's like a very logical way to think about it. And it's like, I think too, with like having too much freedom, I always thought about this with life. Like having too much freedom is bad. Like having complete freedom. You should have some types of boundaries. Like you should have some types of disciplines and stuff.
I learned, this is, I've said this over the years, working at a jail, watching life. Freedom, people don't want true freedom. Most people. They want the freedom to make simple choices, but it looks like they don't want to have the consequences of their decision.
Yeah, exactly what you said before.
Like, true freedom to most people scare them.
Yeah.
True freedom means you're out in the woods with no doctor that you can force to save your life. Meaning, when you mess up, like
that's it.
Yeah, true freedom is you're in the middle of the woods by yourself. You can do whatever you want.
Whatever.
But if you fuck up,
that's it.
There's no one to save your ass.
No reset.
And that particular thing is only appeasable or liked by very few. People want safety nets that are not necessarily of their own making. It's like, people want, Social Security because they want something there just in case when they get to the end of their career, they have something to fall back on, and they want those safety nets in life. And I mean, if as people we can provide some of them without detriment to others, I don't see why not. It's just, but people don't really want those true freedoms because it's scary.
It is very. That's what I was thinking. Like when you was talking about that earlier,
scary.
I was like, man, that's pretty scary, man. Like, do you think like? Because as I was thinking about it, I was like, all right, so should there be certain lines we shouldn't cross? Like I think that's why they made, is it NATO? Like the where all the countries come together and they have like certain things that we're not willing to do, like the nuclear things. Like we're not willing to. Do you think that should be because? As you was thinking about, as you were saying, like, okay, but I be wanting the other opposing side, somebody opposite of me having the same access. should it be like, okay, well, we shouldn't even touch that. Like, we shouldn't even try to experiment with that because it could be.
I would never say. See, the thing is I never say we shouldn't try to develop things. We should always try to strive. I think we should always refrain from necessarily giving it to the wider berth of people in a general sense. But all the way through, there's always a positive and negative. If we don't develop it and they give us all these good benefits, and let's say our enemies do develop it and they ignore all the bad sides and give it to them for it.
Yeah.
Because here's the deal. Morality is our biggest shackles. Like, if someone that has no morals.
That's true, even in war.
Correct.
Like, yeah. That's very true, man.
And you know, we try to put more moral shackles on us during war. You know.
Some people don't care.
Like, people... I look at, you know, I use Israel, for example. Do you see how I wander? I use in Palestine, not picking a side. I use anybody I talk to, not saying right or wrong, but if you put me at the head of Israel, right, and a group that's identified together, happened to drag my daughter naked through the streets, I would have cobalt bombed Palestine.
You know what I mean?
The fact that they did not says they're not into the mass extermination, because not taking a side for either one, the fact that Israel's restraining themselves when they have the capabilities of glassing the entire thing. Because you leave it to me, you do that to my kid, my teenage daughter.
Man.
And you put her in the back of a truck, naked through the middle of the streets, bragging about that. I would use a cobalt nuclear device. And most people might not know what that is. But it's a nuclear bomb that has cobalt. I forgot what the number it is. But when you detonate it, it salts the earth. It will make the cobalt they use in the cobalt bombs have a half-life of like millions of years.
So nothing be able to grow with nothing like that.
It would be extremely radioactive. I mean, this is why I cannot be the president of a country with that problem. If you did that to my daughter,
man, that was
and I guess
I can only imagine.
And on a person, that is morally wrong, because 99% of the people in Palestine didn't do that. But I would.
That's a lot to deal with, man.
I would. I said, you did that to my daughter. Fuck you and anybody that ever even breathed in the same air as you.
I feel you. And
the fact that people in that country did not, they're restrained. Because
let me ask you this: what about like what's the quote? Like, they say like a samurai that keeps his sword shaft even though he can like basically destroy you. Yeah. That's true power. Like, what about that? What is that is that the basis, do you think, of the moral thing? Is like, yo, we could destroy you right now, but we're not.
Yeah, but
you know
that in of itself is a moral restraint. But the moral restraint can slip. So you get into a situation like this, and they're on a morality level of you've come to the conclusion, I'm not just going to outright kill you. I'm going to slowly erode and torture you over time. And that, on a moral level, could be more of a worse than just emotional reaction, because it was quick, done, over. Mm-hmm. Now you're dragging it out.
I can understand that.
Right? You're dragging it out. And it can be just as a moral slippery slope. You're like, all right, we're going to go in and try to get the specific people. And then you're like, that may not be working right, or other mud been thrown in your face, other shit been thrown in your face. And you're like, I can't cross that line because I've already established a wall there, but you slip down other moral lanes. Yeah. Instead of being a noble action going after the combatants, you're expanding into...
I could definitely see that.
So
that's a tricky one.
It's not saying right or wrong, but it's still a moral slippery slope. Anytime you're in a situation like that, even war, it's a moral slippery slope.
All the time, man.
Like,
it's a lot of decisions you got to make.
But war itself is not good.
I agree, man. I want to be mindful of your time, LT, man.
Oh, you're good.
I'm coming to a close. We got about 5 minutes, man. Anything you want to leave, like anything you want to get off your chest, anything you want to say that's on your mind, that you want to leave with the people. I appreciate you coming over, man.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like this reminds me like a Joe Rogan experience type situation, man. Cause it's like, I just want to keep asking questions and like, it's certain topics I want to touch. But, I really appreciate you sharing your time.
Oh man, anytime. You know, I sit. We sit and talk all day.
We gotta do this again, man.
Yeah. I mean, listen. All I tell people, and the same thing I tell you. I'll tell you and tell everyone else. Think about your stuff. Think about your actions. Think about what you want to do, and just try to think of the consequences, good and bad, of what you want to do. It's do I want to do this? And the cause and effect of my actions are beyond the immediate gratification of your decision. It's like, so always think stuff through.
That make a lot of sense,
try your
man.
best to think stuff through.
I respect that a lot, man. That's like a life thing, man. Again, man, I appreciate you coming through. I enjoy the podcast, man.
No problem, man.
Like I said, man, anytime, man, we can definitely do this again. This is the Real Talk Podcast, man. If you like anything that we said, anything resonated, man, you laugh, you joke, it made you think about something, please like, share, and comment. We post every Thursday. This is the Real Talk Podcast. Peace. Thank you for listening. If you enjoyed this episode or if you want to check out more of our content, please visit our social media platforms linked in the description of this episode. You can also check us out each week where we drop a new episode every single Thursday. So don't forget, like, share, comment, and thanks again for listening. We'll see you guys next week. Peace.